80 points plus on the Nifty right now, 7,357. So 1.25% is what that translates into this Friday morning. So it's turning out to be a very, very strong day. Mid-cap index is up 1.25%. The small-cap index is up about 2% or so. So today, Nifty, mid-cap, small-caps all are largely in line. Small caps, of course, doing 1% higher than what the Nifty and this mid-cap index is doing. But the difference over the last 3 days was pretty large. Nifty is, quarter, third of a percent higher, whereas mid-caps and small-caps, each of those days was up more than 2%. But today, the Nifty is participating as well. And of course, we've been talking about what's doing well. BHEL, DLF, Tata Power, NTPC. Actually, the question is what is not doing well, and you'd come up with very few names, at least on large caps today. Bharti is coming up as well, 4%, 345, 346. Telecom is one space which actually has not really participated like the other sectors. Sesa Sterlite is up 3.5%. Again, terrific gain. ONGC is up about 3% or so, 404 plus. Jindal Steel and Power, 3%. So the rate sensitives and what you generally describe as cyclicals doing very well. Vikas Khemani is President, Co-Head Wholesale Capital Markets, Edelweiss Capital. He joins us right now to take some questions. Vikas, good morning. Good to see you here on the show.
Good morning.
So, good morning. The narrative now after the big move, a big sort of win for Mr. Modi is turned into a almost chorus of the secular bull market is here, Vikas. That's what one hears wherever one turns, right, in the marketplace. What is your view, Vikas? How do you see things from here?
Absolutely, I think this event is a historic moment in the country's history, and it has happened after decades. So I think markets are right now hoping that whatever India was suffering in the last 1 decade would turn. And I think the promises made by Mr. Modi, the promises displayed by Mr. Modi, I think has been creating this hope. And I think fact that I think lots of stocks are still trading very, very cheap. And I think if India growth returns, I think India will be a very credible alternative for the investor across the globe to look at as an investment opportunity. So I think we are beginning of a secular bull market, and I think India has such a hidden latent potential. I mean, we can return to 8-9% growth if we do basics right. And I think expectation is that I think this government would do that there will be some structural initiatives taken to get the growth back. There will be sort of tactical initiatives which will be taken. So I think from all counts there is expectation, there is a promise, and I think markets are right now believing in that promise, and we all are believing, and it looks like that I think India is about to begin its a great journey going forward.
Investors that you speak to, Vikas, and your team speaks to, are they sensing that? Are they sensing a real fundamental shift as far as economy goes? Because generally when you see 25 sell-side brokers upgrading their price targets, earnings estimates, GDP forecasts, and calling for a bull market altogether, I mean, one starts to tend to get a little cautious, right?
So one way to look at it is the consensus is there. So one way to look at it is that there is a consensus bullish momentum right now. But also having said that, one must understand: is it a consensus after a great bull market, or is it a consensus, seeing some structural change? Now, for all I mean, there might be disappointment if, let's say, government doesn't follow through on all those things, and that risk you run. But I think given the fact that I think country has given a clear mandate after almost 2.5 decades, and fact that I think there are a lot. I mean, Mr. Modi has a credible track record. So I think given that markets are right now building that consensus, and I think you are not paying a great price. At this point in time, valuations are not crazily expensive. Yes, if you look at, given the recent rise in the market, looks like that markets have gone up, stocks have doubled. But if you look at, I think, an absolute basis, the standalone valuations look very cheap. I mean, some of the mid-cap, smaller companies are still very, very cheap. So you find a lot of value in the markets at this point in time, and still lots of investors are under-invested into Indian equities. Indian retail is hardly invested into Indian equities. Foreign investment can come in a big way into Indian equities. So I think if you look at the latent potential of flows which can come into Indian market is huge. And I think if the growth comes back, you will see need of capital also. I think you will see, corporates growing at 20-30%, in their profitability. So all those things can create a different trajectory. So I would not really get worried about the consensus at this point in time. It is good that there is a consensus, and maybe that is the reason I think suddenly there is a steep rally. So I think the consensus, and I think sort of sudden liquidity in the market is creating this steep rally. Otherwise it would have gone in a nicer, normal manner. But I think the steep rally is playing out, and maybe post this steep rally there will be consolidation. I mean, one cannot really rule that out. So I'm not saying the markets are going to go one way. What I'm saying is that you will see structural growth returning back to the market. There will be corrections. There will be correction linked to the domestic news flow. There will be correction linked to the global news flows. All those things can't be ruled out.
Because you are a keen banker, deal maker, you help companies raise money. What are you seeing there? Because I think that is one thing which most say we will see, right? As stock prices go up, people will be more inclined to sell equity, to do all kinds of things, right? Pay off debt, or nobody actually pays off debt, but that could happen. Deleveraging could happen, or actually it could be used to expand capacities, etc. Are you seeing that? Because what's your sense? Are we starting to see that? Is there a pipeline visibility?
See, there are two questions you are asking. One is there a pipeline about the capital raised in the market? Answer is very much yes. I think all the corporate, there are two kind of corporates. One is corporates who are hugely leveraged, and I think are seeing growth profile going forward, but I think they need to deliver their balance sheet. Those kind of corporates will come and raise capital in the market, because I think capital raising environment has just come after a long hiatus. So I think that would definitely happen. Are corporates planning aggressively at this point in time for growth? My sense is that the sentiments have turned positive. People would wait for the policy, evaluate how the investment opportunities are look like. But right now, the sentiment has turned very, very positive. And in my opinion, for credible corporates, good companies who are sort of set with the good business model, growth capital will be available.
No, which is the second type of company? Because
the companies where business model, one is the leverage company. Second, the companies where there is no lever, but I think growth possibilities are available, where whether to start expanding or not. Okay. I think at this point in time, people are just evaluating. But once the policy environment is clear, you will see, people, corporates getting ready to take risk again, and for them, capital will be available.
Right. No, so this huge rally that we have seen and we continue to see, because in the first type of companies, right, where balance sheet suffered over the last many years because of wrong decisions, excessive leverage, etc., that is justified, because that the huge rally in these stock prices that we are seeing. What are people betting on? Are people just is the view that there is limited downside, and as the economy does well, it will have varying degrees of impact on pretty much everybody? So what's to lose? Is that the bet? Or people are actually going very granular and saying, well, a GVK will do well for this reason, a GMR will come back for this reason, a JP will do well, and things like that. What's the sense?
There is always a combination of both. I think I think macro environment improvement. Second is company specific analysis. So there is a combination of both. But as far as the macro environment is concerned, I think in all these companies, the stocks were beaten down. I think, the market caps were beaten down significantly. And as I think, environment changes, if policy falls into place, there is significant leverage in these companies, the operating leverage, the significant delta which will come in from the policy environment change. And I think you will see these companies, becoming, some of the companies who have been having projects become viable, upside will be significant. So I think if the environment changes, upside will be very significant. So these were the kind of, I would call them bankruptcy kind of valuations were prevailing. And as the environment is changing, I think the viability valuation will go from the bankruptcy valuation to the viability valuation. And that delta is huge. And that is what right now market is playing.
Fair enough. But that would you agree it's a slightly risky bet? I mean, nothing wrong in that. I mean, if you make money, nothing wrong in it, in trying to play that. But inherently, it's a slightly risky bet. You're better off, and your downside, I guess, is protected in case there is some volatility. If you basically bet on companies which generally are good run, which were well run in the downturn, and they are likely to sort of do well in the upturn as well.
There is always an environment for all kind of companies. Risk is a function of returns. Always you look at risk return profile, and I think in a well-run companies which have been doing very well, valuations have been very high. So I think probably the risk reward right now is more favorable for people who wants to take risk. Keep in mind that you have to consider the risk taking capability of the investors, and excuse me. Given that in mind, I think you will see. It's a risk return profile of an investor.
Right. In terms of activity, Vikas, what are you seeing in this broad rally that we are seeing in the broader market? Because I would assume that foreign investors aren't coming in a big way into these names, the big beaten down names.
I don't know why you are assuming that
retail is yet to make a comeback. There might be some participation. Yeah, go on.
No, there are a lot of foreign investors are coming in. I don't know why you're making a statement that foreign investors are not coming in. You see foreign inflows very, very positive, and I think I think we have a huge foreign inflow which is coming through right now. And I think large part of the activity, first it was into the large caps, now it is slowly and gradually moving to the second tier names. So you will see a huge amount of value which is there in the mid caps. I think will get unlocked, and I think investors are kind of flocking and trying to see how they can take exposure to the mid cap and smaller caps.
No, I don't. So you are saying that a majority of the money which is coming in on an average is now going into 500 million and sub $500 million companies. That I would describe as small caps. That is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Majority of the foreign money. Okay, that's and you'd say it's been happening. This has been happening for how long? So essentially, this rally in the small cap segment of the market has been then driven by FIIs, Vikas.
No, I am again saying that foreign investors have been coming, investing into the market. First they did in the large caps, now they are moving to the mid caps. And I'm not saying that it's driven by mid cap, only foreign investor. It is a wide participation. Both local investors as well as the foreign investors are participating. Foreign investors are moving from large caps to mid caps also now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, no, go ahead. Have your water. I think you're coughing a little bit. I'll just come back to you. But I think the essential difference between what you're saying and what I was saying, you're talking about mid caps. And there's a big difference, right? Mid caps, $2 billion plus kind of market cap. Small caps, $500 million lesser. I think you're largely referring to mid caps and not very, what have now after the big correction become small and micro caps. That is the part of the market that I was referring to. And the reason I was asking that question, Vikas, is the move very, very, would you describe it as a classic speculative move, Vikas? The move in the small and micro caps. What's your sense? That is what I was getting to.
No, I do not think it is a speculative move. I think most of the mid cap and small caps companies were trading at extremely cheap valuation given their earning capability, earning power reduced over last couple of years. But having said that, there was a huge value sitting there. Most of the stocks were trading significant discount to the book value, and as the earning power of those assets are returning, you will see you are seeing that mid cap stocks are kind of getting closer to the book value. So if you are trading at a significant discount to the book value, let us say assuming half time book value, and even if you get closer to one time book value, stocks have doubled, but still there's a lot of value still left in the company. So I think one has to look at in that context, and I don't think that from point half time to one time book is a speculative move. I think companies can trade 2 times book also if the earning power comes back, and I think that is what a change in the macro environment does. If the policy environment changes, if the growth environment comes back, operating leverages are very high, and hence you will see companies which were making 10-12% ROE can end up going to 18-20% ROE, and that will decide the valuation market will pay. So I think I do not think this is speculative. While there can always be some sector, some counters where there could be speculative. I am not commenting in that, but I am commenting by category in general.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, the big bet is, if earnings growth comes back, so compounded earnings growth between fiscal 9 and fiscal 14 was about 3%, right? During the last bull market, that compounded rate of growth was, earnings growth was almost 20%. If we go back to 20%, then anything can happen. I agree with that. But the bet is that will happen, and the market is making that bet now. Otherwise, there is no reason why half a time book value should go to 2-time book value. You'd agree, Vikas, right?
No, it is currently not 2-time book value. I was just saying that it is walking to that path and it is not speculative, and that is the hypothesis market is making, that growth is coming back.
Right. And you're saying that hypothesis is correct. That's basically the point. Fair enough. Vikas, thanks very much for.
Hypothesis is correct or not, that we will know later.
No. So we'll of course we'll know later. But you, when you said that you believe it's not speculative, then you're saying that growth will come back. We will go back to that 19-20% rate of corporate earnings growth. That is why I said you
believe in that.
You believe that hypothesis is correct. Okay, fair enough. We'll leave it at that. Vikas, good chatting to you. Apologies for having kept you waiting earlier. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Let's take a quick break. We are back in 2.